Hey guys, it's CJ Fuchs Photography. We are taking a photo tonight of my buddy's Porsche. It's a 1971 Classic. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I figured I'd take you through the shoot real quick. We're doing it at a beach. Obviously, you can see there's going to be a sunset behind us. And it should come out pretty awesome. So we'll go over the settings we're using in a little bit because we've got to wait for it to get a little bit darker, but we're going to be exposing for the background and then using these flashes with the rear curtain flash to light up our subject. So we won't lose any detail in the front, which you normally would if you're just getting like a silhouette when you're shooting into the sun. That's why you need some type of light exposure on the front of your subject. The rear curtain flash should take care of that because it'll fire right before the end of the shot and freeze everything in place. So what we're shooting with here is we've got the 5D Mark III 24 to 105 lens. We've got Yongnuo triggers and receivers on the top, and just come on over here real quick from here. And we've got the Yongnuo 600 up here for the flash, and over there we've got the Canon 580. Both of those are rear curtain capability. So I will give you some more info in a bit. Thanks. What is up, guys? It is CJ Fuchs Photography here. My buddy and I took a picture of his 1971 914 Porsche. And I'm going to show you how we're going to take that from this picture and properly expose it. Now, you saw the setup in the video. I apologize if I was speaking a little bit fast, but there are a lot of people around and we just wanted to kind of get through the intro. So now I'm going to take you through the workflow. And we're going to take this photo right here and bring it from something that looks like this to something that looks similar to this. Not exactly, obviously, because they're different photos. But here is my kind of workflow. And I've already done this with some of the photos, so I've got some notes down here on my phone that you can't see. But let's go ahead and go through it. So I always start from the bottom after I've imported everything in, and I'm in the develop mode, and I've gone through and I've kind of selected which photos I think will be good edits. So I kind of scroll down here to the bottom to lens correction, and I enable profile corrections and remove chromatic aberration. Now this photo doesn't really have any chromatic aberration, but I click it just pretty much on every, and you can see down here it gives us the make and model of the Canon 8.0. And I chose 8 because I want to keep a lot of the picture sharp, but obviously I wanted the focal point to be the car. And then it was 8 seconds just to get the right exposure for what I wanted. We were using 3 flashes as you saw in the video. So let's continue upwards. For noise reduction, I'm going to put this around 50. 51 is close enough. And same for this, probably closer to 60 for sharpening. And you can kind of see some of the difference there. It's not going to be hugely apparent. But when you take a JPEG, your camera does some of this for you inside of it. All right, so with the hues, I like making the reds a little bit more what they seemed like when I was out there. So the reds are going to be about -16, orange about -18, and yellow -20. Let's move over to the saturation tab, and we're going to saturate these just a little bit more to bring out what it was like more while we were there. And really it's just going to be the same 3 colors. And then blue here, this blue isn't really looking as blue as it should. Not as it should, but as it did. So I'm going to boost that up a little bit too. Boost that up too. So bring the lights up a little bit. Same with the mids and the darks. I never really play with the clarity, vibrance, and saturation too much. I'd only go in above 10, but we'll start with these here. Now, there's a bit of a highlight issue here. So I'm going to bring those down a little bit. I'm going to raise the shadows a little bit, get some more details in the ground. And that might actually be too high. Do something around there. And we'll bring that up as well. Now, the entire image you can see from the histogram here is a little bit underexposed. So I'm going to pull it up not that much. I'm going to add a little bit of contrast too. Um, for the temp, let's see where they want the temp auto. 6,500 plus 13. That looks pretty good to me. And you can see this is still kind of dark here, and this is kind of light. So we're going to use a brush right here that will lighten the sky. I'll paint that on. You can kind of see it right now. And then I'm going to click done here, and then we're going to make another one where we're going to make it a little bit darker. And we're going to put that down here so it kind of gives a focus of the image more on the car. And I think that looks pretty good. So this is how I edited this in Lightroom, and you can kind of see, I'll show you the before and after right here. So there's the before, and it's a good shot. I knew I could pull some of the detail out in Lightroom. And we obviously did that right here. And there's still some things I'd like to fix up. Some of these rocks on the ground are distracting. This big light flash is distracting. When you zoom in, you can actually see a few bumps and stuff on the car. So I will take care of those in Photoshop, which is kind of my go-to for removing objects. I like its process a lot better, to be honest. So I'll show you that right here once it loads. So the first thing I do is fit on screen. I just kind of give it a whole look over. And I'll grab this, which is the spot healing tool. And we'll kind of see what's distracting. Now I find some of these rocks distracting to my eye. I'm going to want to remove them. With that one, you just want to move the shadow because it's so big. So basically we're just cleaning up the ground real quick from anything that will detract from the car. But we don't want it to look too fake. But any of these bigger rocks we're going to try to get rid of that are on the ground in front of it that kind of distract you. And I know what you're thinking right now is, what is he really doing? This isn't that important, but I'm going to zoom out here and we'll go back to the history real quick. And I'll show you what it looks like before and then after. Once again, we'll go before real quick and just kind of look in front of the car in this area. So before and then after. And you just notice it looks a little bit nicer. There's one right there that I don't like as well. So we're done with that part of it. I want to take care of this spot as well. Just so that it's a little bit less, it doesn't take your attention as much from it. And now we're going to get to this bumper. And you can go pretty small here. We don't need that many. I'll go with like 10 pixels. That should be more than enough. And so once again, we're using the spot healing brush here to take care of these spots. We don't have to take care of every little detail we see there, but they actually are pretty distracting. And I'll show you again, just kind of try to focus in on that bumper real quick. So if I come back to like here, and then I go all the way down to here, you'll just notice it just looks a little bit better, which is what we want. So after this, I'm just going to go into actual size here and just kind of look around the car, see if there's anything that I missed that I can clean up. These little marks right here don't look that great. Not actually sure what they are, but we'll just take care of those with the spot healing brush. And that looks better. And anything else that I can see, we could actually take care of this too, make it a little bit more black. What I'm going to do there, I'm just going to grab the paintbrush. I'm going to take this way down. Still too big. Bring the opacity down. And for the color, we're just going to grab the black that's right next to it. And just click a bunch to reduce that kind of glare right there. Because we don't, since this is an edge, we don't want to use the spot removal tool, as that could get rid of the edge, which obviously that's part of the car. I think that looks much better. And then, I would just save this. I've got a watermark set up that I would throw on the bottom here. Do Fuchs photography, and then I would just save it as a JPEG, as a TIFF, so I can re-edit it and everything like that. And this is good to go. So thanks for watching, and tune in for more next time. Thanks. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe for more videos. If you check the description, you'll see a link to my website, and I'd appreciate it if you stop on by. Thanks.